Can I talk now? Cool, because today I'm talking about defunding the police. Coming up next.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Van Daniel here, bringing common sense to controversial issues. And today we're going to talk about defunding the police and my take on that on 3 Minute Thursdays. But first, this show is sponsored by the Undivided Apparel Company, linked below, where you can go and get all your apparel for the show, Van Daniel Undivided. It's all there, even down to the fanny packs, if you want to sport some gear. Much appreciated. All proceeds do go to the show to keep this thing funded. All right, let's get into it on 3 Minute Thursday. Put 3 minutes on the clock, please. Here we go. All right, defunding the police. When I first heard of this, I thought it was the absolutely worst idea I've ever heard of. But I took everybody's advice. I listened. I stepped back. I listened. I listened to the communities. I listened to folks that are supposed to know or that do know, that live the life that we're trying to get rid of, right? So during that time, I'm listening and I've asked questions and I've gotten a lot of answers and I've gotten a lot of questions back in return. So really I've learned a lot, but what I've really learned ultimately is nobody really knows what they want. So the idea of defunding the police is quite simple. They want to take police funds away from the police department and they want to invest it into communities. Now, I have no problem investing money into communities. However, if you take money from the police department and put them into these communities, how are these communities going to be safeguarded for these citizens, that the law-abiding citizens that already live there? I'm concerned. I think it's a bad idea. I think if you defund the police, you're going to overwork police. When you overwork police, they make bad decisions, worse decisions now. Crime goes up. The neighborhood gets worse. And now we're looking at more homicides, more unsolved crimes. And then they're going to look back at the police and they go, oh, you're not doing your job, but you took all their money. When these community centers fail, because they often do. Why? That's a whole nother issue. But what I've found is they bring in too many programs that they can't fund, instead of just focusing on one or two that the specific community needs in that area. And they, instead of focusing on those two and funding those two, they focus on 4, 5, 6, and then it gets overwhelmed, and then the funding goes away, and then the community's back right where they started. But because I don't have a problem with funding the communities, my next question always is, well, what's going to fix the police officers then? If we have such a police officer fail, and we have so many issues with the police and in communities, what's the fix? Almost an over-resounding answer is what I hear every time. Well, they need to be better trained. And although I agree that police officers do need to be the best trained, the problem is what you just told me is you want to take money from police departments but you want police better trained or retrained. Well, do you not see the problem in that? The problem in that for me is quite simple. It costs money to train. And if police departments already aren't trained enough with the funds and resources they have now, how are you going to take funds and resources away from them and then expect them to be better trained when there's fewer of them and crime rates are going to be on the rise? I understand there's an issue, but we have to pick our battles. What do we want? Better trained police officers, or do we want them, or we want more money in our communities? Because we can't have both. Just by defunding the police, that is. If we want both, we have to take funds from somewhere else, put it back in our communities, right? And then allow our police officers to continue to train and get better and hire better individuals. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. 99% of police officers are absolutely some of the best human beings you could ever come across with, and go out there every day and put their lives on the line to protect the communities that they serve and do their job and do it the right way. The 1% though is what we always hear about, right? That's the argument the black community always says when I talk to them about issues in the community. Well, you're talking about 10% of our population. You're talking about only 10% of the population. You're taking that out of context. Everybody's not that way. Well, it's funny how we do that, but when we're talking about police officers, we just group them all together and go, help. One's bad, they're all bad, right? One bad apple spoils the bunch. But if we apply that concept to one, we have to apply it to all. So I'm not applying that concept. There are bad people out there. There are sociopaths out there that get these jobs, that do bad things. I get that. As soon as we identify those folks, they need to be fired. And we have not done a good job at that on a system level. But we can fix that. That is very fixable. The other problem is, for some reason, people think that you can't support the police department and then not support bad cops. Those are two completely different things. I don't support bad cops. The problem that I see is, what are we going to do? Do we want to defund the police, or do we want them to be better trained? Because in my opinion, we can't have both. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen today, smash the like button, share it with your friends, comment below, tell me what you think of the show. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and smash the little bell icon so you don't miss any 3-Minute Thursdays. Obviously, every Thursday. All right, till next time, I'm out.